Back to the channel, PLTR Stock. This is a stock I want to bring up because when you look at the chart, it was as high as $40, and now it has sold off to its low, and it retested the low, and it's starting to show signs of consolidation, which still a fairly risky play, is showing a chance to come back up and make new highs back to 30. So right now we are down over 50% from $40 all the way down to now $18 a share, which is huge. And I have the 1 year chart just to show this. And I think it's worth mentioning because right away you can see the RSI is 38. And just from a technical standpoint, it is really testing that 17.8 support level. Because when you go back to 1 year ago, you can see that PLTR was at $17.06. And the last time it was there, it had a nice little bull run all the way back up to $27. And that's a 60% increase on your money, whatever your investment was. So I'm going to be looking to take a position on PLTR. I'm going to do two things. If it does dip, I'm going to do a lot of shares and try to sell for a quick gain, but I want to hold at least a 250 to 500 share position and then see if PLTR is going to start reversing. Because PLTR, in the history, every time it sells off, it has a nice rebound. Even from here, from $20 all the way back up to 29. Comes back down to 23, comes back up to 26, 27. So PLTR does show signs of life, and as long as you get the lows, you're usually okay. You got to still follow a stop loss, but when you're looking at the RSI here, you're seeing that it's at 38, around here at $19, and that's where it is in the aftermarket. So I'm hoping that we can get a dip on this, even if it's $18 or $18.50, just to get a little bit lower on the sale price, and then look to start building a position into this. Because clearly there's support here because the last time 6 months ago, around $17 range, it popped back up. So even here you got a nice little point. So I'm looking to day trade this, but I do want to hold shares of PLTR, but I want to keep my stop loss below $17 because if it breaks that $17 mark, it's going to keep trending down. And then just to show you, when you look at the year to date, there it was at 1706 was the low. So when I purchased this, I'm hoping to get them at least a little bit below $19, but we'll see if it starts going green now. And then we'll be able to follow that stop loss below $17. The next thing I'm looking at for PLTR is when I bring up the 5-day chart, it is trading above the VWAP, which is 18.71. So we will see if it retests it and then continues to come up. That will be a point of support for them around the 1870 range. But we need to see if they're going to break this 19 area, because even when I bring up the 1 month chart, we can see that PLTR, PLTR is going, it has to break the $20 range to 2010 to actually start breaking out and making new highs. What I've been doing is watching them to see if they're actually going to be making new highs, because it looks like they made their lower lows, but now they're starting to make higher highs and lower lows when you actually compare the chart and look at them. So it's just a stock I wanted to bring up. I definitely think it's worth having some money in them. And when I had this low here at 17.8, the next low was 18, and now the next low was 18.6. So I'm going to be looking to make an entry in them. I'm hoping I can get them around 18.6, 18.5, and then start trying to ride them up. But I definitely think it's a good position to potentially hold and try to get at least a gain. Let me just show here. At least a gain, even if you bought at $19, you bought a little high, let's say. I want to get it to this range up here, a little bit higher, like up here at 21.30, and that's 12%. I mean, it's pretty good ROI. That'd be a nice little weekly trade. So I'm going to try to swing trade this over the week and see what we can get on it. And then the last thing, as I was reading this about PLTR, just to get a little bit of an idea on them, and they're talking about how they're expecting their revenue to increase by 30% year over year. And you have to be careful with these growth companies because it's not always going to be true. And every company, I'm just going to highlight it. So they're showing 30% over 21%, over 2021 revenue. And their expected guidance is 1.5 billion. And they've been growing. But the thing is, if you look at Q3, they've lost 26% of revenue. And they're saying they've been able to improve that net loss because of the fact that they're adding more commercial instead of more government contracts. And the biggest thing with PLTR is they're just like a defense company, but they have their secret weapon that the Motley Fool apparently says is that they have the Foundry for commercial, and then the Gotham software for the government contracts. But when you look at the Apollo, they're saying this is what separates PLTR from its competitors, is that it's able to add the security updates and all that. Personally, I don't really care about the news. I just look at what could be a potential catalyst, and looking at the chart is what makes sense to me because I'm not holding PLTR forever. I'm looking to day trade them and make money on them. So I follow my stop loss below $17. We cut it. I don't want to buy any PLTR above $19. And I'm looking, hopefully, to get this trade and sell around $23. And then that would be a nice gain from $19. I'm trying to bring up a chart here so we can bring up the actual percentage. So from $19 is our goal. If we can get it lower, even better. 250 share to 500 share position. Stop loss at 17. And then we're going to try to sell it at least at, we want to sell at least at 23, start selling shares. So that's 20% return right there. So that's the goals on PLTR. That's what we're looking for.